Live video earlier and I tried to talk about what I was doing here. Effed it up, so I deleted it. I made a video for the Zenken Shokunin channel. It should be up by the end of tonight. But I thought, well, what about just like hanging out? You get to see what the workshop looks like in its current state. You know, see what I'm up to. So it might be a little boring. No Dharma talk today. It's just hanging out with me. I might start yapping. I might not. So basically, just hanging out with a traditional Japanese style shokunin. In my tiny little workshop. Some people might find it helpful. I'll probably end up talking. It's hard for me to keep my mouth shut. Here's live. Well, look for that later. I got my tunes bumping. Hopefully YouTube doesn't think I'm using copyrighted material. I just have the radio on YouTube. Cleaning these saw plates. They are in dire need of some TLC. I don't use Western saws, or these types of Western saws anymore, because these are for big projects, stuff I make. This is overkill. But I had them up on the on my workshop door, and I noticed in some of my videos they were looking a little janky. They needed some loving. So I cleaned them up, made a video about what to look for Western style panel saws. That one is from the late 1800s. This one that I'm putting here too is also late 1800s. I've used them for 20 years. They still have a little bit of life left to them. But I'll use more Japanese style saws. They're more efficient, they're more economical, they're more accurate, less maintenance, and traditional for what I make. But these are still, there's nothing wrong with these, really. They can still be used. But it's just overkill for what I'm using. The few times that I need something like this, and I'll grab something like this. $10 handsaw with the impulse hardened teeth, nice and sharp, efficient. I won't cry if I break a tooth on it. But these probably close to 140, maybe even older, 140 years old. They're really pitted. They were pitted when I got them. So collectors don't really care about them because the etching is gone on them. After all these years. My favorite hammer. Pretty much all I use exclusively. Japanese style, genno. But I have one of those rubber chair guards, the chair leg guards on one side, so it turns into a almost like a dead blow. Feels like a dead blow. And then just a regular hammer on that side. Saw. That's what I've been up to. What have you guys been up to? Don't use these anymore. But I noticed in some of the old videos that they needed some loving. Can I crank this up? YouTube, can I crank this one up? Alright, where'd that one go? Slid flush. These. There we go. Those are the ones I was looking for. So these would be probably less than worthless to collectors, but as a tool, nothing wrong with them. They need to be sharpened and the teeth set probably. I'm not going to do that just because I don't use them anymore. What's the point? And at some point, you'll see these get a nice holder on this wall, but not at the moment. I want that one to be touching steel though. Creative. I always thought that the benefit of these types of videos is that it's like hanging out in somebody's workshop. And years ago, like 17 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that, maybe longer. Lived in Oregon, on the coast of Oregon, because a buddy of mine lived there, and he's a sword maker, master swordsman. Master sword maker, and I used to go over to a shop and hang out, and just talk shop while he worked. And you'd be surprised how much you could pick up. You know, just hanging out, watching somebody work. Don't want to spill my tea. Too. That's what that's used for, by the way. That's your little mallet. So yeah, so I hang out at a shop and talk shop. Picked up quite a bit that way. Another thing about that place, Oregon Coast, a place called Coos Bay, Oregon. It's right next to, hopefully you guys can hear this, but it's right next to Coquille, Oregon. My friend actually lives in Coquille. I lived in Coos Bay at the time. But not only was my friend there, the master swordsmith. See if I can bring you in a little closer. Maybe you can hear me better. See what I'm doing better. So also in Coquille, Oregon, there was this bamboo plantation called RKR Bamboo Plantation. And in my opinion, it's the best place outside of Kyushu, Japan, to get bamboo, madake. They have madake bamboo, which is what you use for shakuhachi. And in my opinion, outside of Kyushu, Japan, which is the best place to get bamboo for making shakuhachi is this place. It's so similar to Kyushu that there's this giant salamander that can only be found in Kyushu, Oregon, and on the Central Oregon, or in Kyushu, Japan, and on the Central Oregon coast. So there's flora and fauna that are really not found anyplace else. Rather interesting. So it had, in my opinion, the best bamboo outside of Kyushu. And I had my friend Michael Bell and Adam Coleman his disciple. Michael Bell is Dragonfly Forge. I believe you can find him online. Adam is Yamakuni Kaji. It's a mountain. Mountain sword maker. Damn good sword maker. So shout out to Adam Coleman, my little brother. And shout out to Michael Bell. Haven't been up there in years. Gotta go back. Skip the tunes. So yeah, so I'd hang out in either of their shops and just talk shop, talk story, learn stuff. And I think these types of videos allow everybody to do what I did. Instead of traveling over there, you can see which one is which. That's that one. Yeah, that's that one. Oh, that's another old one. So those two I bought decades ago. Used the hell out of them. Over the past few years, when people find out I do woodworking, they're like, well, my grandpa's got this old saw in his barn or in his garage. You want it? It's all rusted. I said, hell yeah. This is one of them. And this is got a lot of life left in it. You can tell the older ones because they don't have that nail hole. The new ones got the nail hole, the old ones don't. Okay. Yeah, just hang out with me in my workshop. I'm a-working. A little steel wool. These are far from collector's items, but they're good daily drivers. They're good to use day in and day out. At some point, these will probably get gifted, passed on, instead of just being background decoration in the workshop. Wow. This one is probably factory. This one, I'm pretty sure was homemade. They didn't even include the fourth hole. And when I was cleaning it, I stained it, but when I was cleaning it, it smelled like oak. This one, I'm not quite sure. It could be apple. These are probably from the 1950s, and I believe Disston used apple wood for their handles back then. one. So whoever made this handle did a decent job. Nothing wrong with it. So that's you. I think I lost that other medallion. That's the one that fell. Forensics here. On that other one. Medallion on this one. So right there. 1, 2. There. There. I think a couple fell. But I can find them in the daylight. One here. Can't find it. Pretty sure one dropped. Come on, guy. Such a small shop, still losing stuff. Check later. Visualize this guy, right? What do you guys think? Keep them as wall decoration or gift them? If I gift them, what am I going to have on the wall? No. do that. What point to do that? Anybody else catch that? The point is to have the medallion shown. That's why I did that. So I put this here so that it wouldn't mess up the teeth. This one over here. Now these are still kind of sharp. I haven't even sharpened it. Woo. Utilize that nail hole. Starts getting old. Okay, where were we? That one might fit nicely there. We'll see. We shall see. Paste wax on the plate. My recommendation. I think it protects it the best. This guy's seen a hard life. That's some serious pitting. But it's free. Just a little sandpaper, elbow grease, paste wax. Still got plenty of life. No. Still got plenty of life. I'm missing one. Well, I'll find that in the daylight. Yeah, so I'd hang out at Michael's shop and pretty much every single time I learned something. Gotta take care of those. on, guy. Get in there. Catch. Not catch it. A little better. It's just not getting it. Found that times like this, force it, usually bad things happen. So I ain't gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Just leave that for tomorrow. Effort is like struggling to get out of quicksand. It only pulls you in faster. I'd like to seat that guy. Just, he's gonna catch on me. Here. It's not going to catch him. Mangled up teeth on this guy. This guy needs some new rivets. For a trip to the hardware store. Okay, now we're going to put you in there. Up to this guy. Let's bring you back. I don't know if you guys could see what I was doing before. Let's see if you can see this. This is turning into my go-to right here. Now, I think to myself, I got all the saws that I'm ever going to use. I could probably use a little dozuki. Not dazuki. We're not going to dazu. It's dozuki. Yeah, other than the Japanese YouTube channels, I don't know why they all call them dazuki. Okay. There. Drill down dirty. poke this tiny little piece here. Thank you. When I was younger, I used to think, well, you got to go really fast with the saw. You really don't. If anything, I want to slow it down. Good enough. The nail hole, I'm going to utilize it. Like I said, this is just down and dirty for now. Something a little better than what it was. Let's do that for that guy. Alright, let's put this one back together. Last one. This one, it's an absolute shame not to use it. It's in great shape. After cleaning these up, now I just, where are we at? Instead of staring at my feet. So, after cleaning these up, it makes me want to use them. So, quick story, and then we'll wrap it up. But, so as I've said in previous videos, I'm a Zen priest. I took my vows in September 2002. One of my Dharma brothers, fellow Buddhist priest, is a buddy of Michael Bell. It's actually how I introduced me to Michael Bell. And he had a cutlery shop up in Washington State where I was stationed in the Air Force. And when I got out, where I went to college, undergrad school. Did some graduate work at the University of the West, Rosemead, California, but my bachelor's in cultural anthropology is from the Evergreen State College in Olympia, Washington, which is where my Dharma brother cutlery shop. And he and Michael Bell were really into Japanese blades. I started training in traditional Asian martial arts in 1976. Started training in Japanese sword arts in 1984. So it's been 40 years. 4 decades. And I have an affinity for the Japanese martial sword arts. I see them as an answer to life's questions. Some people use it for LARPing, pretending they're a samurai back in the day. Somehow I always felt like it was a vehicle for enlightenment. So, my Dharma brother, he picked up the sword at a blade show in Oregon. I don't know how many years ago. I think it was in the late 80s or early 90s. And Michael calls it his all-day sword because he can stare at it all day and see something different. He said there's some things in that sword that can only be seen in moonlight. I was fortunate enough on several occasions to hold the sword. And it is a mumei. It is an unsigned sword. There was one guy who was very famous for not signing his swords because he said, when you hold my sword, you'll know it's mine. That guy's name was Masamune. If you're into Japanese swords, you may have heard that name before. Well, I've never held a Masamune up until that point. I firmly believe it's a Masamune. It is when holding it, it felt like there was an electric motor somehow in the sword, and it, like a lightsaber, I would imagine, there was a buzzing to it. This very faint electrical feeling, like when you're using a sander for a long time, and then afterwards that ghost of a vibration. That's what it was like. I could tell that sword blindfolded in the dark. It was ridiculous. It's gorgeous. I don't know. If it's not a Masamune, I've never, ever, ever felt anything like it. All the antique swords that I've seen, held, etc. That one was special. I remember either Michael or my Dharma brother asking me, "Oh, wouldn't you love this sword?" And I said, "No, I would not love that sword." And they were dumbfounded, like, "What?" I said, "No, because I would use it. I would use that sword every day. And I would be afraid to F it up." And it's kind of thought of that while I was doing this. This is a beautiful saw. It's a beautiful Disston. I don't know if this is gonna show up, but there's still an etching on this guy. Henry Disston, Philadelphia. Right there. 2 sailboats with a D. This is gorgeous. This one was given to me. Alright? Absolutely beautiful saw. Still sharp. Just Not quite collector, but pretty close. It made me think of that sword because even this, I look at this, it's got some flaws, obviously, but it's so nice, like I don't want to use it. I do, but I don't. It's like that sword. If I had it, I would totally use it. So it's probably a good thing I don't. Right there. I'm no collector. I don't want to collect anything. It just seems a waste. Seems like a waste. That's a pretty nice saw right there. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. That's pretty nice. That deserves a nicer holder, but for now, that'll be what's in the background. What do you guys think? So that's my collection of Western panel saws. There is my Japanese saws that I use on the daily. That's what I look at when I'm working. The other stuff needs work too. There you go, guys. That's why I would not want a really like a priceless kind of high-end sword, because I'd want to use it. And a high-end saw, I see pretty close to the same. Whereas this, I can beat the crap out of. Even these, right? These are from the 1950s. It wouldn't feel too bad. They're only like 100 years old. 90 years old. No, I'm sorry. What am I thinking? 70 years old. Yeah, they're only 70 years old. These are south of 1900s, and I'm pretty sure that one is too. So now the few times I need to do a fast cut for speed, use this. In another video, I explained how there's 3 cuts. In woodworking, there's only 3 cuts. You cut for speed, you cut for accuracy, and you cut for appearance. Rarely are those 3 cuts the same. There's a few people I'm sure who can do it. Paul Sellers, Graham Blackburn. The rest of us, we need a shooting board, we need some sandpaper, we need a hand plane, stuff like that in order to get that accuracy and appearance. Talk to you guys later. Peace. Alright, let's see if I can figure out how to shut this off. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Okay. Bye, guys.